again, under training, new cue, we'll call it Easter.
You should have done a nice looking thing.
And then over here is your actual lighting console. So wherever you want this cue that we just made, we're gonna put that over here. We'll put it on this slider. You have your choice of 5 sliders. Whatever one you want it on, double click the star. And to make all these lights go back to nothing, so they're not using any light, hit clear, and that'll release everything. So now if you want to check and make sure what we just did actually works, go there and hit the play button. Now we've got the Easter look. If you want to change, so you have this for walk-in, say we go right into worship right after that. If you want to change it and add some backlight, you can do that. We'll just do this, we'll do them at 100%. Make them, we'll just keep going for ugly. So there we go. Looks like a 70s disco. All right, so now we change those lights, and they're still highlighted, so we'll hit store part. And you can do it, we'll do it right under Easter cue. So the same one, so as soon as you go into this cue, it'll be right after the next one. So we'll call it worship. Well, I spelled it wrong. Still spelled it wrong, but I don't care.
So how do you, it's sequential to the Easter cue?
You're gonna put it under, right now, you can choose wherever you want it. This right here is where our Easter stuff is. So this is Easter Q1. This will be worship. So that'll be Q2. Okay, and then the same thing, you'll just double click it. So now we'll release everything, clear it all out. And because we still have a queue up, you have to hit release. Clear does everything that you've done in here. Release will do everything that you've got going on out there. So that blanked out all our queues. So there's our walk-in. This next one, that goes right into worship.
So you just push the play button.
One service all on the one
You
channel.
absolutely can. And then if you want like an emergency lighting, if something goes wrong, you can put that on a different one. Do whatever you want.
No, on the uplighting, can you get that to change during worship?
Oh yeah.
Just
Yep.
based on the music or the...
Yeah,
How
you can do that. You could make a different cue, or you could grab them if you want to do it live. You could just grab the group and just change it live.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more just have it change automatically rather than...
You mean...
Well, yeah, going from one hue to the next intensity.
Okay. Oh, you mean just change the color during worship? You can make a whole nother cue that just does that.
Right, but I mean, as worship is going on,
Yeah.
will it change? I mean, you just set it, you forget it, then it's just going to...
Like after
You
10
want it to
minutes,
change
it'll
after...
After, every
A
two...
time to change.
You can do a time change. Yeah, sure. So we can do...
Or after
5
the
minutes
first
for
song
welcome,
or
15
something.
minutes for...
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have your services down that tight, absolutely.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so if you want to edit that cue that we have going on,
No comment.
release that.
No, who's leading, how fast she's
Oh,
going to
boy.
do the song.
So here's all of your cues down here under the cue list. So go down here, right click, and we can where is it? Click on edit. That'll bring it up here. And so you've got your walk-in right now. It's set for halt, which means it'll advance as soon as you hit the play button. But if you wanted to change at a certain point, at a certain time, you could do this, and we'll just hit, let's just, so we don't wait around for forever, we'll hit 5 seconds.
Okay.
And so now we'll save that.
Is there a manual that goes with this?
Yeah, of course.
I was thinking you'd have it all down.
Yeah.
So now, oh, I got everything highlighted this way. So it's taking 5 seconds to fade in. And then if we want the next one to follow right after it, we'll just open that back up. Click follow. So now they're just going to keep following back and forth and fading into each other.
And will that stay on loop, or do you have to set
That'll
that?
just continue to loop because we have them set to follow.
And if you push the play button on the board, does it override
Yes.
that and it stops it, or?
No.
Okay,
Well, it kind of pauses it for a second.
sure. But then, can you save that follow to the board? So when you push play on the board, it does that?
Yeah, that's what it's doing right now. So as soon as, so if we release that, as soon as we hit play, right now it's just going to go back and forth between each other. As soon as it fades out, now it's just going to go back and forth between
Sure.
each other.
Okay.
So yeah, it takes 2 seconds to do it. One's on 5, one's on 2.
So yeah, you do a lot, probably a slower,
Yeah, if you want to do it during, absolutely.
and a,
You could,
yeah,
you
less,
could do this, whatever fader you want is your worship, and then you could go into, you don't want to do that anymore, now it's your service, you can go into that one, and that's just the pastor speaking. Or you can do it where this is all of your front lighting. I think that's the way I have it set up right now, is this is just your front lighting. And if you go into a play or whatever where you want everything blue, I think that's what I did, with just your center spot. So some people will do that. They'll group them on the slider for what bank of lights they're going to change.
Can match
Sure.
The color of the pasture keys close.
Then-
On the-
but you could take and follow those different sliders, right?
You,
Like
So
whatever
like,
sliders you have set
we're
up.
doing
you
a
could-
special song on Sunday. and
Sure.
Darla's gonna be going from the grand piano. Can you use one of those lights just to highlight her and then?
yeah, absolutely. You can
And then
grab-
just have a blue,
Yep. What I would
and
do.
just have that set up?
Yep. If it were me, I would look at what you guys are doing on a Sunday and just make a cue for every different
Yeah,
lighting
normally
change
we
that you
don't do
want.
special songs, but this would be,
Can
Or
you,
if it's something scripted that well, I would just put it all in one slider
okay.
and just click my way through the service. So if you want everybody.
But like, for the special song, can we just put that on its own slider and then?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's the special song?
can you come up every week and set this then?
You'll have to show up on Sunday to find out what it
I
is.
think my fuel bill will go through the roof.
I have to. Gotta do
North Star
something.
Commuter can get you St. Cloud. And then we can
We'll pick,
it
yeah.
up from there.
We'll just bring the computer down.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, you can actually do that. You can make cues
We'll
and
meet you at Taco John's.
save them to a
somewhere.
USB, and
Oh yeah, I saw that. You can
that's
just-
we have a couple of churches that do that, and then they just email the file, save it to a USB, and they stick it in their
sure.
controller and load the same thing.
And
So-
that's okay if you do it on PC and then bring it over to Mac.
Yeah,
'cause
we've
it's
never had
again-
any issues.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not going to say for sure every time.
We'd be
when
the
we're
first.
time.
And you don't need the dongle to do it at home or on a remote
The-
computer.
No, this
That only runs the
software,
board.
if you want, you can put this on your laptop, and you
Sure.
can build everything at home.
Yep.
And then when you come in here, just load the presentation. It's just like a PowerPoint file.
Sure.
You're not going to see anything out there until you're actually hooked up to the equipment.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's very easy that way. So you can make everything at home, bring it in, and then click through it all, make sure it all works for you.
You can actually use the entire software without the dongle, even as is. If you just pull out the dongle right now, you can still use all your lights. They're just going to black out every few minutes. So
Oh,
it's really annoying.
yeah.
They do
Sure.
that on purpose.
Well, maybe that's the effect we want.
So we need to make sure that USB drive in the back, that's the $1,000 USB drive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's one
don't
you,
lose that one.
that's not one to put through the wash. Okay, and then I suppose you guys don't really need to know how to patch. That's something I can go through with you.
For like assigning the addresses to
Yeah,
each
it's not
light or
really
for
gonna
the other
change
ones.
when you come in. This is what the console looks like.
So that's just a virtual image of what that is?
Exactly.
Okay.
Sorry, hon. Yeah, exactly, and it's fairly responsive. So if you want to see what you have coming up next,
Oh,
it'll turn red, or it'll turn black, sorry, and then you can see what the next cue is. If that's not big
Sure.
enough for you, you can go, I think it's this one, yeah. So here's all of the cues that we have in there right now. And here's where we're at. So this is what cue we're in right now because it's 100%. I click it again, it's gonna show me what's next. So if you guys are doing like a play, this would be the screen you want to be on. So you can see what cue you're at and what cue is next. If it's a follow, if it's a halt, how long it's going to take, all that kind of stuff. So you can skip right to it too.
And then we should, kind of after you're done, save this somewhere else, just in a hidden folder, and then open up and rename as, and then edit off that one or something, and then
Yeah, if you
Great
wanted,
place to have
yeah,
it.
you could certainly do that and just use this as your default.
sure, always have something to go back to if we mess
Right,
it up too bad.
right. It's a really intuitive system. You really
Like you
can't
said,
mess it up too
you just
bad.
have to kind of play around with it.
Yeah, the easiest way to learn it is just kind of sit down yourself and just play with it for even a half hour and probably have it pretty well.
Sure.
But this would be the way I would do it. It's just click right through here on a Sunday morning so you can see what you're doing. So this, if this is your walk-in, you have 3 different cues for your walk-in. You click through them all, and then you go to worship, click through them all. And that way it's all set up and you can see what you're doing the whole time.
And then there is multiple pages
Mm-hmm.
on the console.
So Josiah, this Sunday you're going to be
Right.
operating this?
I guess. Once I mean, the soundboard's pretty much set, but yeah, I imagine.
So if I gave you cues in the...
I wouldn't time them.
No, I meant just, once we go from one song to the next,
Oh, yeah. I could just know.
step through it.
Yeah.
If you
Like
guys
use
are
the
coming
green at the
to a
end so we all
video,
look sick.
if you're coming to a video and you don't want to make a cue to black everything out,
Mhm.
you can just hit that, well, nothing's on. That's not much. You can hit that and that's immediate blackout.
You have to hold it, right?
Yeah, you have to hold it, which is the only down part. Or this is your Grandmaster, so if you want everything down at like 25%, you can do that. And just adjust it there. That'll adjust the intensity for every light you have patched. You can also,
Completely black it out with that knob too, right?
yeah, you can go all the way down. It's nothing.
Do we have light pointing to the drums where we could like make that a different color?
Certainly
So you
could,
want your
yeah.
dad to be...
Especially like in front of the drums.
No.
Kind of gives an awful glare.
When you have your light selected and you go
Black
to
light.
save like your Easter one,
Yeah.
let's say you have just I guess, or how do you recall your Easter right now? One of your Easter ones that you saved with the light selected.
How do I edit them?
Yeah.
If I was going to edit them, I would click on the cue list down there,
Okay.
and that will bring it up right here.
And edit.
And you can edit any of these, or if you want, if you go, oh shoot, I made it in the wrong spot, you can drag it and copy it.
Okay. When you click on one, does it highlight the lights for that one, or?
On these,
Like, how do you know exactly which lights are saved to that? Like the yellow highlight around the lights. Well, just to see.
just to know what ones
yeah,
it's
to know which
affecting.
ones it's affecting.
You kind of have to know the cue as far as what you're going to change.
If you click on the cue, it'll show up though, right?
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm thinking I'm in the wrong page to be doing.
What's the sync button do?
I hope you don't have a test on this too quickly.
The sync button right now, it's just saying I've just changed the cue, and I haven't changed it
The actual
on
light.
the console yet. So if I hit sync, that's just going to change it. So now that if I click through that Easter cue, I think this was it. There's now 3 cues in there, and they're all going to follow each other. So if you click, oh, that's why I wasn't, because I didn't have the master up. If I have that up, it'll show you what's changing.
Oh, okay. So now if
So
you
you
click
got to have
on,
that slider up.
if you click on the first one there, on
yeah, it's kind of tough
Is it-
because they're all
or you could stop it
following
or
each
whatever.
other. But
So how do you stop it?
well, right now it's set to follow each other. If I wanted to stop, if I wanted to change the cue, I would just change this to halt. And so now it'll get to this point and it's going to stop
Okay.
until I go and click it again.
It'll follow through the next one, then go back until it halts.
It's going to go through this one, or it'll go through this one, and then it's going to halt right here.
But then let's say you highlight all the front lights for something, and then you always click save part. What if you had them all selected, but the rest were just black? You typically don't want to do that because you're wasting
What do you mean? If I just
Like-
did this and changed these to
Change those to something,
that,
but then highlight you just leave the rest.
yeah, I would leave the rest.
You don't
I-
highlight them black or anything.
No, if you're not using them, I would not highlight them.
Okay.
Because then if you go to create another queue that uses those same lights,
It would kind of conflict.
they cancel each other out.
Sure. And you don't do save all, because that would kind
No,
of get
I
into
would
that
never
too.
do store all.
Store all. Okay.
Because then because it'll save everything you've done. So if you changed even the percentage on this 2%, it'll change it, and you don't necessarily want that. If you wanted to have, say you had a queue where everything was white for some reason, you can go and click, let's do it this way. If you wanted to bring everything up in a split second, you can hit the bump button, which is this. So it brings that queue up to 100% if I have it set right, which I don't have that all set right.
Oh, when you hold that down, that's
Yeah,
the bump.
that's the
Okay.
bump button. So if you want to flash your lights for a split second for an effect or something, you can just hit that, but you have
I
to
mean, the
play.
crowd cheering.
So,
Sure, it bumps it to
Mhm.
100.
mhm.
And if that slider's halfway, it'll bump it to 100.
If this is all the way
Not that
down-
one, the scene slider.
Well, if you have this up 50% and you hit that, yeah, it'll,
It'll bump it the rest of the way.
right,
Okay.
right. There are built-in effects down here too. Or if you want to just highlight all these, bring their intensity up to 100%, you can hit just some of the built-in effects, and it'll show you right on the screen what it's doing.
Sure.
It's just, they have some different,
I think Dorothy will like that one.
And that's just the
Whoa.
built-in ones. Can you add or change, do anything with the templates on the effects there?
on the effects templates,
Yeah.
not really, no.
Okay. It's just kind of
So
default.
let me
on
do-
there.
I could see
Effects are
Vespers
there.
using that.
Yeah.
Well, for these particular lights, there's probably about 20. Because these lights don't move.
Okay. Yeah.
This program's built for moving fixtures as well.
Sure.
And these just change your color and intensity. So, and then if you want to stop the effect but keep your lights at 100%,
Can you change the rate at what it's changing on those effects, or is that?
your speed,
Yeah.
there is a way.
It's in the book.
Yeah, right. We can rename them. I'm not sure how to.
Can you use those effects to save them into a scene?
Yeah, you would just save the scene now. So you
Sure.
would go to store part, the ones that they're doing. Basically, whatever is going on the screen here,
You can save
and you
them.
hit store part, if you have it highlighted, it'll store that.
And you put in the 1 through 6 over there.
These were all me, yeah, just me screwing around,
Okay.
getting some light set.
So what's the first one?
The first one is just all the front lighting.
Okay.
The second one is just some of the backlight fixtures, stage lighting. I just kind of did some different cues. This is, I think, all of them. Just going through different colors. There's only one. This is just front lighting, which is how I would set it up. I would do all my front lighting on one slider, and I would do all of my side lights on a different slider. So that way, if you're going in the middle of a service and you just want to bring down your front light,
When you say front and side, what are you talking about?
this is all front lighting. All the light that's shining on your face,
Okay.
and
I
this
did
is
all
all
mine
the
as
side, the backlight kind of stuff.
Side. Do that one again. Up.
This is the side lighting. It's on the walls right now.
And then
Okay.
your
Above, there's a
And
couple.
The V.
Is there just 3 above?
On this cube, because I made this before we put up the other
Oh.
3 lights. But yeah, so if you went to a video now from your pastor speaking, you could just bring down and just do it manually, where you bring down your front lighting all the way, and you didn't have to make a new cue. So you could kind of
Sure.
make some generic looks for a Sunday and just do it manually if you didn't want to script your way through the whole
Oh yeah.
service.
Which Yeah, we'll probably be more like that.
Scripting your way?
No,
or-
no, no, like
okay.
that.
Yeah, I would just
To
put
get
all
used
my
to a
light
little
picks
bit
in
more
there.
scripting on the first initials.
Yeah.
You might get a disco going on while I'm preaching and then
Yeah.
Change them in the background, see if he notices.
just wake up man.
Yeah, something's got to keep Matt awake.
Well, it won't be so warm in here.
Are you fine? You think with that 19-inch monitor, would a 24 be better?
That's kind of personal preference. Doesn't really bother me any.
Well, it's already paid for. Might as well keep it. Was it cheaper?
It's $100.
That's $100. You know how many kids in Africa we can feed at $100?
You know how many lighting shows we can do in Little Falls? The TV doesn't taste very good anyways.
You've tried.
Yeah, Renee made him eat the last one he bought.
Oh.
Just clear everything. Sweet. Any questions with any of this kind of stuff?
I don't
Well,
know
it,
what to ask.
Yeah,
Well,
perhaps.
until you
have to
you
start
almost have to sit
practicing.
down and go through it.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to sit down and play with it for a little bit.
Can I
be my
hear
guest.
music?
Darla, what I would
Can you
mind
Like
while
if I
we're
had
here
music
is that we go
playing,
through
would
the
it like pick
songs,
it up and then move with it? Or?
No,
pick a
it's not audio.
background, and decide
It doesn't
on
have
the
a
lighting.
controller in it, no.
Yeah.
Do like the Sunday stuff, except for the Sunday. You understand?
Yeah, but somebody, let's say, look through the songs or whatever we're going to do, and then somebody else jump in and try to monkey with the colors. Then
No.
and then questions will come up while you're doing it. Yeah, right now.
I'm not doing it.
Little Frankie?
Don't you remember?
We
I'm the
almost
one that
need,
tell
we
you guys
almost
what to do.
need.
Oh yeah, that's what Frank said before he
We
got here.
almost need the power or the screen on to see the
Down.
look, I
Cleared
guess,
everything.
Down.
until you get to.
Yeah, you can lower it all the way to the ladder.
There's nothing on right now. So if you guys want to make cues, it's a blank slate.